What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here with the Distance video for you guys this evening. This one is regarding the return of Miguel Cotto. It will be on October the 5th on HBO against Delvin Rodriguez. Now, the fight I'm watching, of course, right now, as I mentioned in my previous video, one of my favorite dissections in the sport of boxing, Alexis Arguello versus Ray Boom Boom Mancini. One of my favorite, like I said, one of my favorite, just overall, just showcases, I think. One of the greatest, I believe. So, anyway, let's get into the topic. Miguel Cotto returning on October the 5th. So, Miguel Cotto is my favorite fighter. And I've been saying for a minute that he should retire. After, a couple decent paydays, he should probably just call it a day and just retire. Now, he's coming off of 2 straight losses against Floyd Mayweather and Austin Trout. So now he's looking to once again revitalize his career. He's fighting in a very competitive division, at 154, fighting a very competitive division. So, and he's going to be under the tutelage of Freddie Roach. So that will be an interesting move for Miguel Cotto, being under Freddie Roach, training at the Wild Card. He's definitely going to get some good sparring at the Wild Card gym. Freddie Roach, I think Freddie Roach is good when it comes to developing better offensive intangibles with a fighter. He's good with fighters on making adjustments as well from time to time, but it depends on which fighter is underneath his banner. I mean, sometimes like with a fighter like Miguel Cotto, he already knows how to make adjustments. So I'm sure that Freddie Roach may be salivating at the mouth that he has a fighter who is naturally skilled, has been in the ring with great fighters, has a lot of rounds, a future Hall of Famer. I'm sure that, Freddie Roach is definitely salivating at the mouth having Miguel Cotto, a man that is very serious about his craft. As you could tell when, the way he approaches his fights and how serious he is. I mean, he didn't seem all that serious in the Margarito Cotto countdown back in 2008. But, I have seen a bit of a change in Miguel Cotto between that time and now. It's been about 5 years. So he's facing Delvin Rodriguez. Delvin Rodriguez is a good talent to get some good rounds against. Delvin Rodriguez, he did lose the Austin Trout about a year ago, and then had a couple good fights with Pavel Volok, who just recently retired. But Cotto will go in, he'll have a decent fight with him. I think that Rodriguez, I don't think it's going to be a sparring match, just simply due to the fact that, Rodriguez prepares well. He prepares well. He's been in the ring with some decent talent himself. But he's always been a fighter that came up short. So this will be, one final great opportunity for Delvin Rodriguez. Because, of course, Cotto's fighting in a great division, 154. He got Floyd, he got Canelo. He has Ishe Smith, who had an eye injury, just withdrew from the Carlos Molina fight. I have a friend of mine that I work with. He knows he's good friends with Ishe Smith. He mentioned that he had to get stitches or something like that, and that's the reason that he had to pull out. Was due to the fact he cut his face or something, had gotten stitches. Now I don't know the legitimacy of the story. I do know that he's a good friend of his. He was at work really promoting the fight and boasting the fight. He was really excited about it. So more than likely it is a legitimate injury. Who knows? But you have Ishe Smith, Carlos Molina, you have Canelo, you got Floyd. This is overall is a stacked division. Of course, you got Angulo, you have who just lost, and you have Erislan De Lara. You just have a lot of just overall great fights at 154. So I think Freddie Roach is going to do a good job of maybe showing Miguel Cotto a thing or two. As a fighter, I think he's going to show him a thing or two offensively, and just go from there. I really do think that Roach might be good with Cotto in later rounds, where Cotto will have moments. He'll have lapses where where you can't really control him. I mean, Evangelista, who his uncle, who was his original trainer, had that issue with him, to where he'll fight more so on his own instinct rather than do what more than likely on his end would be correct. And then he had the other dude that was that sucked as a trainer, when the one that was in the fight with Pacquiao and Michael Jennings. Then you had Manuel Stewart, great trainer, one of the greatest ever. Just I guess it didn't work out with them, and he had the one man who was the trainer for national team in the amateurs. I thought he did. I thought he did well with Cotto, but of course, at the end of the day, Freddie Roach, I believe, he is a Hall of Famer. He has trained some great talent. I mean, Bernard Hopkins, James Toney, had Mike Tyson for a bit, Marlon Starling. He's had his share of fighters that have came up under him and things of that nature. So of course he had Manny Pacquiao as well. So like I said, I think that being in the wild card will prepare Cotto for the fight along with his experience. So if you add those two things together, I think overall, I think Cotto does have a shot at becoming a titleist one more time. I wouldn't move him up to 160. I think 160 would be too big for Cotto. But I would look at maybe Ishe Smith. Ishe Smith, you got Gabriel Rosado, another good contender at 154. And of course you have and if they do happen to make that move and say, hey man, you want to come up to 160? Of course there's Golovkin. There's Gennady Golovkin. So the options there are plenty of options, a huge myriad of options for Cotto. So let's look at it from one fight at a time. I think Cotto will go in and defeat Delvin Rodriguez. I'm not going to do a breakdown of that fight, just because I'm not really doing this to really make a breakdown. But I do think that just overall, I think it's a good move for Cotto. At this point of his career, the thing about it is he's coming off of 2 losses against Trout and Mayweather. So it's not going to hurt his career. You'll never know what may help it. We'll see. Same way, peace. Let me know what you think. That was Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.